Good morning and welcome to Top Gun Options Thursday market SITREP. Got back from Vegas last night. Beautiful sunrise in Fort Lauderdale today, and looking forward to a great day kicking off today, this morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, Thursday, November 15th, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing a live trade brief. It's going to be kind of a debrief of the week because we have a lot to talk about, from China to Brexit to crazy Maxine Waters to the tech wreck, part trois, and whether or not we've kind of found a bottom here, as we predicted about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, as the market saw this rip your face off relief rally. I said, hey man, this is a kind of a massive dead cat bounce, and we're going to give back at least at the 200-day, maybe half of this rip your face off rally, and that's exactly what we did. And yesterday we actually punched through right here, which would be half the rip your face off rally, which should have been support, and it wasn't. Today, as I speak, the futures are kind of hanging right now. We're not, Dow's implied open is still down, folks, and it's red. So actually it's time, and like I said, at 10 o'clock, we're going to talk about a hedge, man, because if we head lower, it's going to be with some velocity and some airspeed. I really don't see that much good news on the horizon. I mean, the president's stroking pretty hard to get a trade deal with China. There's a lot of clown carishness around Brexit, Italy debt, and stuff in Europe. And then obviously Maxine Waters, that absolute idiot, needs to go back to her village, sending stocks lower yesterday. So with all this stuff going on, it's time to hedge and get some ejection seats ready. All you need to do is head to go.topgunoptions.com/brief, and you can get free access to our live trade brief at 10 a.m. This is for my members, so I'm not ignoring you. I'm just going to blow through this brief like it's just for my members, and then potential new folks at the end, I'll clear my members off, and I'll let you know. Maybe you can take a 1-week test drive into what we do here at TGO, because actually the next week's going to be absolutely critical. Whether we hang here at half this rip your face off rally, or we go lower and back down to these lows. And I don't know, man. I'll let you know at 10 a.m. What I think. China sent a written response to President Trump reform demands, and it was full of nothing. It was a big nothing burger, to use Washington, D.C. Childlike terms for nothing. It had nothing in there. Most of the document appeared to be a rehash of previous changes already made by Beijing, such as raising equity caps on foreign investment in certain industries. According to one person, it did not contain the sort of commitment to change industrial policies, such as President Xi's Made in China 25 that Washington has been seeking, according to a person familiar with the response. So again, Larry Kudlow, a month or two ago, said, hey, I worked in the Reagan White House, and Nancy Reagan had this great trite campaign for drugs. It was just say no. And he said, China needs to just say yes. They need to say yes to something to show us that they're willing to move at least an inch, and they haven't. So Steve Mnuchin has been dispatched. He's heading over to China to maybe move a rock. And we'll talk about this at 10, folks. But this is, if it's a trade deal we want, it will get done. That's why I've gotten long-term bullish on China about 2 weeks ago, even though we're short-term bearish on FXI. That's the vehicle we use, is FXI. And we had a little bit of a pop last week on, hey, Mnuchin's talking, we're talking again, and then this is going to drop here because we actually got weak. What did we get yesterday? It was their consumption numbers. It's showing contraction. So the China economy is not doing well at all. Their GDP was a blowout to the downside. Their PMIs are getting very close to recessionary, and their consumption is slumping as it's starting to hit the folks in the trenches here. They don't want that, folks. China does not want an unhappy populace, and that's about what they're going to get. They can make, try and make us into the bad guys, but at the end of the day, the Chinese people aren't going to care. They're going to be pissed off at their leaders, and China doesn't want people pissed off at their leaders. Now, of course, when you can dictate happiness at the end of a gun, you can fix that pretty quickly, but this is getting very, very serious. So if it's a trade deal, Trump will get it done. If we're trying to contain and poke and prod and put China back in their box, so to speak, it's going to be a very, very long war. Like Jim Cramer said earlier in the week or last week, he said, we're not in a trade war, not just in a trade war with China, we're in a real war. And I've been saying that for probably the past 5-6 years, since Barack Hussein Obama allowed China to move most of its country into the middle of the Pacific and didn't do a thing. Bank stocks dive after Maxine Waters threatens to end regulation rollback. And when bank stocks dive, what do the rest of the markets do? The rest of the market absolutely imploded. Goldman Sachs is down over 10%. Look at this. There you go. I told you a year ago to get out of Goldman Sachs, a year and a half ago. I get out of Goldman Sachs. So right after the election, we had great trade on Goldman Sachs. Some members who did 20 contracts in our Goldman Sachs trade were up over $150,000 in one trade. I bailed on Goldman Sachs, got into JP Morgan, and then about 7 months ago, I decided, you know what, JP Morgan just ain't doing it for me either. The blue blood banks are not going to rise again until the Fed decides to start raising interest rates, which ain't going to be good for overall market, right? When interest rates are high, stocks will die. When interest rates are low, stocks will grow. And we'll talk about that today as well. But nice job, Maxine. There's the next 2 years that the market has to look forward to. That village idiot. So stocks lose gains amid growth worries and tech declines. Tech is absolutely imploding. This is the tech wreck part trois. I predicted all three of these tech wrecks, folks, and told you to get out of all of them. And if anything, pound these things into the dirt. If you took a look at the recent 13F filings from hedge funds recently, you know what they dumped? You know what they sold the shit out of? Apple and Facebook. Wonder where you heard that. Who told you to get out of Apple, Facebook, Netflix, Google? I did. I said the only safe haven is Amazon, and even that one's got a limousine liberal driving the company. Apple enters a bear market, down over $200 billion from record highs. Facebook morale takes a tumble along with the stock price. And shocking report here, I'm shocked. New York Times expose reveals Facebook scrambled to label liberal critics Soros operatives while trashing Google and Apple. This place is an absolute shit show. That guy's got to go. Let me just remind you, when he started Facebook, one of his buddies at Harvard sent him an email like, dude, how'd you get all these social security numbers, date of birth, names, and everything? He's like, I asked for them. People just gave them to me. Dumb fucks. And I paused for effect there. He called you a dumb fuck. If you use Facebook, you're a dumb fuck. Now, of course, the liberal media doesn't report this that often because they love interviewing Mark Zuckerberg and they don't want to, lose their access to the guy. But, and he's right. I mean, it's so true. If you decide to give everything, all your information, pictures, and you're going to allow people to own all your personal shit, you're a dumb fuck, and I'm one of them, but I'm trying to wean myself off of all of that. I spent a week in Twitter jail because I called Jake Tapper at CNN a retard because it was hate speech or something like that. But, same time, Twitter's got Louis Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan went to Iran a couple weeks ago and led a Death to America chant. That piece of shit is all over Twitter, but they put me in Twitter jail for calling Jake Tapper retarded. Tapper, exactly. So, guys, we got a lot to talk about. This market is in trouble. We did not hold the half the rip your face off rally, so we're going to talk about all that stuff today. We have some bearish trades that are looking good. We have some bullish trades that ain't looking so hot. So you just need to head to go.topgunoptions.com/brief. And you can get airborne with me at 10 o'clock. Going to be a good session today. Going to be a lot of stuff covered, and it's going to be fast and furious, and you're going to get a free look into what we do here at TGO. So make sure you stop by at 10 a.m. Eastern. We do not send out the replays anymore unless you're a member. Obviously, if you are a member, we post it on the member page. But if you're not a member, you have to attend. Okay? So have a great rest of your day. I'll see you at 10. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless.